How Martin Luther accidentally started Europe's bloodiest century. In 1517, a monk in a small German town hammered a piece of paper to a church door. He thought he was starting a debate. Instead, he ignited a revolution, one that would tear Europe apart for over a century. Cracks were forming, corruption, indulgences, and an empire too large to question. It is of no doubt that the Reformation, sparked off by Martin Luther's personal revolt against the Roman Catholic papal indulgences, transformed both the intensity and geographical scope of the protracted 1519 to 1659 European warfare. These wars were often framed as religious, Catholic versus Protestant, but they were also about power, territory, and national sovereignty. The spark: Martin Luther's challenge to authority. On 31st October 1517, when Luther famously nailed his 95 Theses to the church door in Wittenberg, his main criticism targeted the sale of indulgences, a practice where people paid money to reduce punishment for sins. Martin Luther's thesis was considered by the Catholic Church as a radical idea. These included that salvation was by faith alone, sola fide, and Scripture was the only source of authority, sola scriptura, not the Pope or church hierarchy. The newly invented printing press by Gutenberg rapidly spread his writings, making Luther one of the first viral figures in history. The Reformation swiftly added a fierce new dimension to the traditional dynastic rivalries of the continent. For particular socio-economic reasons, the advent of the Protestant Reformation and its response, in the form of the Catholic Counter-Reformation against heresy, also tended to divide the southern half of Europe from the north, and the rising, city-based middle classes from the feudal orders, although they were, of course, many exceptions to such general alignments. But the basic point was that Christendom had fractured, and that the continent now contained large numbers of individuals drawn into a transnational struggle over religious doctrine. Religious upheaval across Europe. Luther's ideas inspired reform movements across the continent. Germany became fragmented into Protestant and Catholic states, leading to decades of religious wars. In Switzerland, reformers like Ulrich Zwingli and John Calvin built their own theological traditions. One such, called Calvinism, became especially influential. In England, King Henry VIII broke from Rome and formed the Church of England, partly for political reasons, but influenced by Reformation ideas. In Scandinavia, Lutheranism became the state religion in Denmark, Sweden, and Norway. The result of these upheavals was that Europe was no longer religiously unified under Rome, which was a fundamental shift in the continent's identity. Social and political transformation. The Reformation brought about with it the rise of the individual. Luther's emphasis on personal faith and direct reading of Scripture encouraged individual conscience and literacy. The wind of nationalism also blew as monarchs used the Reformation to consolidate power against the Catholic Church's transnational authority. Meanwhile, some interpreted Luther's message as a call for social equality. Luther condemned the violence during these Peasants' War, 1524 to 1525. But the idea of challenging unjust authority had already taken root. Educational and cultural revolution. The Reformation brought about education for all, in that Protestants believed everyone should read the Bible, fueling the spread of literacy and public education systems. It was also Luther's German translation of the Bible that standardized the German language and democratized access to Scripture, influencing both religion and national identity. In music and art, Luther encouraged congregational singing, ushering in hymns like "A Mighty Fortress Is Our God." Art also shifted toward everyday subjects rather than just saints and icons, global and long-term impacts. Martin Luther's Revolution and Reformation was met with the Catholic Counter-Reformation, where the Church responded with internal reforms including Council of Trent and Jesuit missions that revitalized Catholicism and expanded it globally. The doors to modernity and enlightenment were also opened by Martin Luther, as the Reformation's emphasis on questioning authority and valuing reason helped lay the groundwork for the scientific revolution and enlightenment. This period also marked the seed of modern secular governance, as over time, Europe's religious conflicts led to the idea of toleration. The persecutions that came with the Reformation also resulted in colonial and global influence. Protestant settlers in North America carried with them a strong work ethic and emphasis on education, profoundly shaping Western culture and democracy. Conclusion. Only in the mid-7th century, when men recoiled at the excesses and futility of religious wars, would there arrive a general, if grudging, acknowledgement of the confessional division of Europe. The Reformation had permanently divided Western Christianity, but also expanded it, resulting in thousands of denominations today. It further introduced modern ideas of individualism, freedom of conscience, and the questioning of institutional authority, principles still central to democratic societies. Today, the Day of Reformation, also known as Reformation Day, is celebrated on October 31st each year. That date marks the anniversary of October 31st, 1517, when Martin Luther is said to have nailed his 95 Theses to the door of the Castle Church in Wittenberg, Germany, an act that sparked the Protestant Reformation. This occasion is observed in Germany, especially in Protestant regions. It's even a public holiday in several federal states like Saxony, Brandenburg, and Thuringia. Scandinavia, Sweden, Finland, and Norway have church observances, and other Protestant communities worldwide. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel for more intriguing videos. Lessons Untold. Relax, review, reflect.